G'day everyone, thanks for coming. My name's Drew, I'm from Armidale. Basically 14 years ago I got sick and tired of watching everyone lose in court. So I started studying. And what I found out was we've all been entrapped. So the whole system works on presumption, okay? Whether it's federal, state, courts, police, licences, everything. They all presume you to be persons. You're not. You're men and women. That's it. You're not a resident. You're not a citizen. You're not a person. You are all men and women. And with that comes the rights that are laid out in the Bible. So you've been given dominion in Genesis 1:26, but that's been taken away from you by generations of dumbing us down. They stopped teaching Latin in 66, they stopped teaching civics in 72. We don't know the real political processes, we don't know the real meanings of law. Okay, so those presumptions are basically what you have to rebut. Now, the very first thing you guys can do to rebut the presumption of the federal courts and the federal law and federal government and everything is using their own documents. So if you all bugger off down to Centrelink and you all ask for a proof of life document. Now, Anton's got some printed up. You have to prove to the federal government that you are alive, because under Admiralty law you are presumed to be lost at sea, dead. Okay? Clear example of that is basically when you go to vote. When you go to vote, they'll open up a big book and they'll mark your name off that you voted. All your names are in capital letters. The only time you should see your name in capital letters is on your tombstone and in the obituaries on the paper. That's it, because it represents a dead person, a dead entity, a dead man or woman. So by filling these documents out called proof of life, you're proving to the federal government that you're alive and well. Fill out the document, go and get it notarised. That will cost you. It's around about $55. Okay, it's worth every cent. So you get a proof of life document from Centrelink. And when I went to get it, it was years ago, the lady said to me, I've been working here 18 years and I don't know what you're talking about. And I said, well, just punch it into the computer and let's see if it comes up. And sure enough, it came up. She says, oh, look, there it is. I said, well, print it off. So I filled it out. I went and got a notary public to seal his notary seal on it, which is the seal of the Vatican. It's backed by an ecclesiastical oath that carries a lot of weight in court. Then you go and get it colour copied. You want 2 copies. Then you go and get it certified by a JP as true and correct of the original. Once you've got that done, you're laughing. So you keep the 2 colour copies for yourself, one for your file, one for my little mobile office, and then you take the original back to Centrelink. That will be sent off the International Bureau and your name will mysteriously disappear from the voting ledger and you will never have to vote again. Okay? When you vote, the word vote came from the word vault. We are all electrical beings. We run on electricity. Our aura is on the outside of our body and they want your energy. They want your electricity. And when you go to vote, you have to go to a poll, like a voting poll, like a poll on a battery. That's basically, you're giving your electricity away to the federal government. You're also giving away your power of attorney to the government. They act with that as voluntary power of attorney. okay? You can get your power of attorney back. I have. Oh. It's called enduring power of attorney. Now you can type into the computer New South Wales Register General. Then you type in enduring power of attorney. Print that off. Now when you fill it out, they are presuming you are the all caps name, okay? But that's not how you write your name. You don't write your name in all capital letters, do you? Okay. So that's the person, the dead entity. In the Bible, Acts 10:34, in the King James Bible, says that Peter uttered out of his mouth that he perceives that God is no respecter of persons. Now that perplexed me when I was a young fella going to church. But there's another one, James 2 verse 9. That's a special one, because that's what you can bring up in court. So it says there, if ye have respect for persons, ye commit sin, for ye are convinced of the law as transgressors. Now, I don't know if you've been to court. I've been to court more times than you've had hot dinners. So when the police prosecutor pushes over documents across the bar table to you, on the very front cover, which is the cover page, your name is, your Christian names are in lowercase, and your father's name is in uppercase. Now, your father's name. Hallowed be thy father's name. Right, sacred. Sacred be thy father's name. Why? Because the sins of the father are carried over to the sons. In other words, that's a slave name. And unfortunately, whether you like it or not, you are all slaves. Okay? My job is to try and emancipate you by getting up here and letting you understand that this is how you emancipate yourself from their presumption. Okay? So, the slave name is your surname. Your surname is short for your surety name. It's attached to your surety bond. Each and every one of you here today has a bank account that you don't know about. And believe me when I tell you, there's more millions of dollars in that bank account than you could ever spend. Right? And it's all yours. But you don't know about it. And you're not supposed to know about it. That's how the government get to claim it. It's a maxim of law. And what you want to do is, with your little notepads, and for those who haven't got a notepad, try to remember, write down maxims of law. Because every time I quote a maxim of law, unless you've got a Black's Law dictionary, you really need to remember these. Okay? So it's a maxim of law that he who does not deny admits. It's a maxim of law that an error that is not resisted or opposed is approved. And it's also a maxim of law that a presumption that remains unrebutted will stand as fact in a court of law. You've got to rebut the presumptions. The presumption that you're a person, you're not. Person comes from the Latin word persona, meaning a false identity. That's why God doesn't respect persons. And if you turn to the third page in the charge sheet pushed over by the police prosecutor, your name has mysteriously gone to all caps. Because you didn't rebut the presumption on the front page, they get away with it. And when you turn to the third page, you're an all-cap slave and there's nothing you can do. So your opportunity to say, that's not me on the front page, right? So the surname is your father's name. When you were born, you're given Christian names. And it says in the Bible, in Christ's name you shall be saved. It's your Christian names that are going to save you. If you attach that surname to your name and they hear it, well, you're gone. You're part of the assurity of that bond. Now, the bond, well, This year I'm trying very hard to get hold of it. I've finished all the documentation. If you want to look into that, look into TASA, T-A-S-A, on the computer. It's Terra Australis States Assembly. It's a complicated process, but it's one I guarantee you it's worth doing. So look into it. If you have any problems, queries or questions, contact this guy here because he's into it. Anton's into it, and he's only just getting into it. But we teach it up in Armidale, and it's something that you want to get into because the bond. I had one of my students contact me about 5 years ago, all excited because he's into computers like Anton, but he's a computer hacker, and he hacked into the federal government mainframe, and he found out how much money goes into that bond each month.
His bond or all bonds?
All bonds. Your bond, my bond, everyone here has got a bond. Okay, this is basically under admiralty law, where the woman is classified as a vessel, the baby is classified as cargo, it's floating in waters, it comes down the canal, it's received by the dock. Now the baby is handed over for manifestation, so it's weighed. Ever heard of the old saying, you're worth your weight in gold? That's what it's all about. £10, 3 ounces of gold gets put into a Sestway KV trust or a Setake trust, however you want to pronounce it, it's French. When you put wealth into a trust, it immediately creates an estate. From the estate, you can create a corporation. From the corporation, you create a slave. Now, the very first thing I did, and every bloke here, I guess, when you turned 17, you went and got your licence. You're not doubling your girlfriend down to the bloody picture theatre on the back of a push bike anymore. You're going to be driving a car. As soon as you get a licence, you're the slave. You entered into it, you voluntarily subscribed to become that person. When you leave school, get a tax file number, ABN number, Medicare number. All of those numbers are attached to your bond. $250 million per month goes into that account. $250 million. Now, that is put in there by two things. You've got the interest of the gold itself that gets put into the Sestway KV Trust. Now, I stopped paying taxes. I send all my documents. I'll give you copies of my documents so you know what's what. I think I gave, you scan them, you're going to type them up. You can give everyone in this group copies of my documents. Try and leave out my personal shit, just in case there's anyone out here who wants to create a false identity using my name. Good luck to that. If you want to take my name on, you take the shit that goes with it, because I'm a wanted man. Okay. This is the way you emancipate yourself through documentation knowledge. Okay. It's a maxim of law. He who fails to assert his rights has none. Unless you've asserted your right by documentation or verbally, which is Robinson's law, the law of verbal contract, you will be processed as a slave. Okay? So this is how you stand up and claim your rights, by letting them know that you're alive and well, you're not presumed lost at sea, and that's basically, for want of a better word, that fucks them up. Okay? It really does. So that document, which is the proof of life document, is the very first one I recommend you do, because you can do that straight away. You can do it tomorrow. Go down to Centrelink and say, could you print me off a proof of life document, and get the ball rolling. Once you get taken off that electoral roll, you're alive and well. What's the name of the book? The electoral roll, that big book that opens up and everyone's name's in it from all around the area. Ledger, good lad. What is a ledger? Hey? List of account? No. Okay. It's the tombstone. That's the tombstone's name, a ledger. Okay, so your tombstone is actually called a ledger. And that just proves to you that that ledger is saying that you're dead. And everyone has gone and voted and had their name ticked off, and you tootle home for a cup of tea. And you didn't realise that you've just, pardon me, you've just basically been pronounced dead. Go for it.
Does that mean our politicians are actually brain dead?
No, your politicians have done what I'm telling you to do. Prove that you're alive. They operate, and so do the elites. They operate with the same thing. They have to prove they are alive.
Maybe that's the reason why this proof of life form actually exists, is because when you get to that certain level of politics, or whether you're a Mason, you have to prove that you're no longer dead. Now, when we know of the birth certificate, some people have been chasing their born certificate. Most people don't know that we have a death certificate. So at the age of 7, when you haven't been found, because up till 7 you presume lost at sea. At the age of 7 you are pronounced dead, and after that you're a dead entity. And so, and then there is a form which goes with your birth certificate, your born certificate, your death certificate. So we all have 3 certificates. There's a death certificate as well. So this 3, what's called the proof of life is that annuls the death certificate, and that was really aimed, and this is kind of speculation, but it's for the elite or the upper class politicians to get to that sort of level, to then become a living being, and then how they live in the paper world is through trust. Everything's trustable. So we all have a death certificate. So we're all on the paper world, we're all dead.
Birth certificate,
A born certificate, which is the birth certificate is the centre. The born certificate basically, in the simplest term, is the baby, and the death certificate is once you're pronounced dead after 7 years.
And the mother and father have got till the 7-year period to rebut their presumption. The mother and the father have got 7 years in which to rebut the presumption. Okay? So it's imperative that you guys learn this. It's good to see you're all here. It is complicated at first, but once you wrap your mind around it, you start to understand how they've done it. And I take my hat off to them. They've done a bloody good job. Okay? They've fooled everyone. And touche, it's good on you. But now it's our time to fight back. And we do that with knowledge. Okay, so the first thing you do is the proof of life. Second thing you can do is reclaim power of attorney. Okay? You've got to get your power of attorney back, because it's a presumption of voluntary power of attorney. Okay? Now, when you have power of attorney, you get it over the all caps name. So they think that you're the all caps name. So the all caps name gives power of attorney to the lowercase name. Now you've got to punctuate your lowercase name. You've got to learn to start doing that. So who's a Mr. and a Mrs. here? You're all Mr. and Mrs. Okay? And that's another presumption. Okay, that's a military title, lower than that of a private. So they give you a title, a military title, and you accept it through your own ignorance. So luckily, I'm not a Mr. I just happen to be a British Lord. And they don't like that in court. So I have fun in court. I can actually make magistrates and judges run out of the room. And you will too. Once you get this knowledge into your head and you get the words right, you've got to be able to verbally contract. You've got to be the captain of your own vessel. You've got to know procedures of pulling into port. Different ports have different procedures, you know. It is what it is. You're the vessel, you're the captain, learn their shit. Okay? You've got to do this. Now, another thing you can do is, like I said, is the power of attorney and your enduring power of attorney and your proof of life. Then comes the affidavit. Now, the affidavit is not easy to fill out because there's so many variables, there's so many things you've got to think about. Well, I've done it for you. Anton will give you copies of it at a later date if you want. And then you can do yourself a favour and change it, because it's a maxim of law, he who creates owns. Now, I created that shit, so it's mine, but there's room for it to be changed. As I'm British, I put it in pounds sterling. In other words, if you transgress those documents, my fee schedule will apply, and it's in pounds sterling. Why? Well, one, I'm British, and two, it's twice as much as the Australian dollar. Okay? So you might want to change it to gold and silver. I strongly advise you to change it to gold and silver. Two, I did mine 14 years ago. There was no COVID back then. So that's another thing you can do. I claim the right not to be forced to wear a mask. I claim the right not to be restricted in my travels. You can get the gist. You can start adding things to it. Don't take things away, because it took a lot of time and effort to come up and think of everything in there. I think I've covered every angle.
To grow what you want to grow.
That's point 11 in my notarised claim of right. I grow a lot of pot.
Whatever.
I pay my bills with a lot of pot. I don't mind telling people that. I'm an open book. Because I've claimed my rights. If you claim your rights, they can't do anything about it. So point 11 in my notarised claim of right, and you might want to do this, not that you're going to go and grow a lot of pot, but soon they're going to ban you from growing your own vegetables, because you're all persons, you're all slaves, and the masters can tell the slaves what to do. But you're actually the masters. They're the public servants. They've changed it on us. In the last 50 years, it's all been turned around. So point 11, I claim the right to cultivate, harvest, store, trade, barter and or use for my own purposes any and all organic substances which grow naturally upon planet Earth. Now, that's tobacco. It could be heroin, not that I'd ever touch that. It could be anything that grows naturally upon planet Earth. So, got to claim it. So there's heaps here. I won't go through all of them, but 13, that's what the cops don't like. I claim the right to charge a fee schedule for any transgressions by policy enforcement officers, de facto government principals, executive officers, agents or justice system participants. £30,000 sterling per hour or portion thereof. And you say that so you can, gives you leeway. Your Honour, I reduce that $30,000 to $5,000 if it pleases the court. So it gives you leeway to move about, or charge them full. If I or any member of my family is questioned, interrogated or anywise detained, harassed or otherwise regulated, that word regulated, you wish to regulate me as a person, Your Honour, my fee schedule applies. I'm not a person, that says it in this document here. But, shit, if you want to regulate me as a person, I could do with some money. How much do you afford, and how many hours do you want me to be a person? Right, and it goes on to £300,000 sterling per hour or portion thereof if I or any member of my family is handcuffed, transported, incarcerated or subject to any adjudication process and £3 billion sterling for any grievous or actual physical harm to my body or any member of my family. Point 15 is I claim the right to statutory immunity. Point 25 is I claim diplomatic, actually, I tell a lie. I claim the right to statutory immunity is point 25. Point 15 is I claim diplomatic immunity. And there's a lot of other points. You've got to make claims, okay? Otherwise, you've got no rights. These are your rights. This is your contract. You send this contract off. Once it gets notarised, you send it off to, well, I start from the top. I don't fuck about. I go straight to the Governor-General. You're the top dog. I'll serve you first. Then I go to the Police Commissioner. Then I go to the Police Minister. I go to Corrective Services. That is, if you want to throw me in jail, you're covered too. Right? Then you go to your local police station. You can go to your local council. Right? Now, local council, they've tried to get jurisdiction over us 3 times by way of referendum. They failed every time. That's it. Last bite of the cherry. So now they don't have legitimacy. Remember that word legitimacy if you're ever fighting with the council. And there's another thing too, conditional acceptance. When you go into a courtroom, there's 3 things going on. You've got offer, full acceptance, or conditional acceptance. Now, I was in a courtroom and I refused to sit down for medical reasons, but he said, you will sit down or I'll give you a jail cell to sit in. Now, that gets most people's attention and they'll sit down and shut up and do as they're told. As soon as you do as you're told in a courtroom, they've got jurisdiction over you, you're gone. They tried to get me by saying, excuse me, Drew, would you mind just moving that glass of water away from the edge? It might spill onto the carpet. Don't presume to have the authority to tell me what to do. You want that glass of water moved, you get one of your staff to move it. You've got to stand up for yourself. They will use every trick in the book to gain jurisdiction. Ever heard of this? All rise. If you get up, you've just waived all your common law rights. You're in their jurisdiction and you can be whisked off to court, off to jail for not doing as you're told, even though jurisdiction doesn't reside in that court.
Do they consciously know that, or are they playing on in the system?
They know their shit. Look, judges and magistrates, they're smart people. You can't deny it. They know their shit. And I expect them, I respect them for that. They do know their shit. But you've got to know your shit. And this shit hasn't been taught. Okay, they do not teach it in school. They do not want slaves who are critical thinkers, intelligent people who ask questions. But back to the you will sit or I'll give you a jail cell to sit in. My answer was, that's a very nice offer, mate. Let me think about that. A roof over my head, don't have to pay rent, I get 3 meals a day and sex every day if I want it or not. What a lovely offer. However generous your offer is, I choose to waive that offer at the moment. Or you could say, I conditionally accept your offer. Under the condition, you pay me as per my fee schedule that's sitting in front of you. There's a lot of remedies for all of this that they're doing to you. It's a maxim of law that the law should always provide a remedy. Your job is to find the remedy. Okay? Now, if you go to a lawyer, they're in on it. A lawyer to law is like an accountant to money. They are in on it. Let's have a quick look at accountancy. Who pays taxes? Hands up, who pays taxes? Right, you. How much do you reckon you pay a tax per year? 18 grand? About that? Do you want it back? Okay. Now, you used to be able to get your tax pack from the post office and from the news agency. Can't do it anymore, can you? Thanks to me. Sorry about that. You see, I rang up the Postmaster General and I said, you do realise you're acting as a facilitator and a fraud? And he says, what do you mean? I said, by you supplying tax packs for the federal government, you are acting as a facilitator in their fraud. Who's got a Black's Law Dictionary? Who knows what facilitator means? If I tell you the direction to my farm and I say, do you understand the directions? And you go, yes, one can conclude that I've basically facilitated your ability to get to my farm. So in the vernacular dictionary, to facilitate means to help. In a law dictionary, a facilitator is one who helps in the commissioning of a crime. What's the crime? Fraud and or slavery. Okay? So, another thing too, basically, when the judge says, do you understand the charges you've been charged with here today? That's another word they use. It's a weasel word. They're not asking you, do you comprehend the charges? But everyone goes, yeah, I understand. I pushed the bitch over, or I speeded, or whatever, I understand the charges you've charged me. They're not asking you, do you comprehend? Understand in a courtroom means, do you accept full liability? Now, if they ask that question, do you accept full liability for the charges you've been charged with here today? And you were to go, no, he's fucked. So they've got to catch you. They've got to trap you. That's where the dual meanings of these words come into.
So what actually goes through the magistrate's head when you say that you can...
Pardon, darling, I'm a bit deaf.
What happens in the magistrate's head when you say, no, I do not understand?
Oh, I don't really know what goes on in his head, but he starts to get worried. Because I would say, and I have been asked, believe me, I have been to court a lot of times. Do you understand the charge you've been charged with here today, Mr. Davenport? Well, first of all, I rebut your presumption that I'm Mr. Davenport. I'm not in the Army, I'm not in the Navy, and I don't have a military title. My title's Lord Davenport. And it's Lord Drew of the House of Davenport. So, what I don't understand, Your Honour, is how the fuck you get away with doing this every day. That's what I say. You are acting as a facilitator in a fraud, and you get away with this every day. And what I don't understand is how you do it. No, I don't understand. Now, a lot of people say, do you stand under? Or is that what understand means, to stand under? Well, that's kind of right, but it's not really right, because understand in a courtroom means to accept full liability. One can conclude it could mean standing under their jurisdiction, but I don't like to use what it doesn't mean. It's close, but it's not right on the nail. It's not. So you've got to buy yourself a Black's Law Dictionary. That's what you've got to do. Okay? Black's Law. Black's Law. Now, with that, it's going to give you an understanding of what those words mean in a court of law. Well, it's not really a court of law. It's actually a kangaroo court. Black's Law, 6th edition, page 868, kangaroo court, quote, term descriptive of a sham legal proceedings where a person's rights are totally disregarded and the outcome is a foregone conclusion due to the bias of the court or tribunal. Now, what's a tribunal? Military. And what title did he give you? Mr. and Mrs. That's a military title, so it's not a court of law. And the police prosecutor, well, I'd like to bring to your attention, Your Honour, that there's a fraud taking place in your court. This police prosecutor is acting as a fictitious plaintiff, which is Black's Law 6th edition, page 624, fictitious plaintiff. A person representing a fictitious plaintiff can be arrested and charged with contempt for entering a fraud into a court of law. But it's not a court of law. But you can make it a court of law. The Australian Constitution clearly states that all courts within the landmass of Australia must act under federal jurisdiction upon request. Cool. I now request on and for the record that this court acts under federal jurisdiction as prescribed by the Australian Constitution. Now, dickhead, either you withdraw or I'll have you arrested for entering a fraud into a federal court of law. So there's always a remedy. You just got to know it. And you've got to have the kahunas to stand up and say it. What's the very worst they're going to do to you? Yeah.
What is it?
Accommodation of the Majesty's pleasure. But it's funny that when you act as your own agent, they can't put you in jail. Didn't know that? You should see what I say in court, and I'm not going to say it here because there's too many ladies. But I rip them a new arsehole, to say the least.
That's because you haven't given your power of attorney at the moment, correct? Because they need, I believe, there's 3 signatures to put you in jail.
Yep, bingo. You haven't given up power of attorney because you don't get representation, right? And again, that's a weasel word. It's not representation. You've been re-presented to the magistrate. What does magistrate mean? If you're dealing with slaves, I'll give you a clue. If you're dealing with slaves, what do you reckon magistrate means? Who's in charge of the slaves? Master. It's just proving that you're slaves. You've got to emancipate yourself from this presumption. Everything is a presumption. Any questions?
Is that why cops get like a big head that they're above the law because they know little bits and that's why they can't like
They don't know anything. They don't know anything.
They don't?
No. They are as dumb as dog shit, pardon the expression. I'm a bit rough around the edges, ladies, sorry. They are stupid.
Yeah, they're like,
So, excuse me, officer, are you claiming to be an officer of the law? Yeah. Well, I conditionally accept your offer to be an officer of the law under the condition you tell me what officer means in law. What does officer mean? Auditor.
Can I ask you a question?
Yep.
So you're referring to me, or I was asking you a question about something.
So I'm not so deaf, sorry.
If I was asking you a question and you were speaking to me, and I'm unlearned,
Yep.
would you have that attitude that you're having up there about good stuff and blah, 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 whatever, to me just because I'm unlearned?
God no.
Well, I hope not.
No, God no. No worry about it. My job is to try and help you out, not to belittle you or put you down in any shape, way or form. I used to be just like you. And I got the shits with being shafted every time. I'm paying good money to be represented.
That's why I asked you.
Hey, love,
I have never shown disrespect to anybody, that's why I won't ask you those questions.
that'll change.
Calling cops, no, never change. I don't like calling people.
Well, I'm sure being a lady, you haven't been put in the positions that us bikies have.
I've been through a lot of stuff.
Yeah, well,
I
it's...
grew up on an Aboriginal mission with a lot of people being hurt, a lot of people doing the wrong thing, and I learned from it all.
Do you say you're an Aboriginal?
Yes,
You're not.
yes I am.
You're an original.
Yes, I know.
The AB in front of the word denotes that the word is not.
Never meaning God, the original people on the
Original people. Good girl. Everyone here today stems from your mob.
And respect is my major multi-law.
Yep, that's cool. That's good. That's honourable. But I can be dishonourable. And when someone tries to dishonour me and disrespect me, I will rip them a new one. And if it means they've got a blue uniform on, I'll do it. Okay? I don't respect the uniform. I used to. That's when there were police service. Police service paid by the people to protect the people. What's a police force?
Enforcing people to do what they say.
Privately owned. And it's owned by a corporation based in Washington, D.C. by the name of Temex. T-E-M-E-X. They are the largest international arms dealer in the world, and they have bought our police service.
When did that happen?
Good question. I think it was around about 1975. Don't quote me on that. New South Wales Police Force is registered on Norfolk Island.
Yeah.
Okay?
The only place they could be registered.
Exactly. Terra Nullius. There's no one there. These people own this land. They are the original owners. They own it. They haven't been compensated. They haven't had a treaty. They got nothing. And that's going to change. And your bond is huge. Huge. The Koori bond is absolutely enormous. And that's what caused the last GFC. Last global financial collapse was caused by an original man by the name of Mark McMurtry when he put claim to that bond. It sends shockwaves around the whole world and caused the whole GFC to start.
Did you get it?
No.
At what point, with this very elaborate con, do the powers that be decide that it's better for people like you to be eliminated?
Oh, don't worry, they tried to kill me already. I'm a walking dead man. I was on the farm, out in the paddocks. I rang up Canberra, asked for documentation that I shouldn't even know about. 3 hours later, I got sprayed with chemicals out of the rear rotors of two helicopters. Two matte black helicopters with no markings on it. And I used to be a private investigator, and as soon as I looked up and seen there was no markings on the tail, I knew it was Black Ops. And then I got sprayed. They were treetop level. I could see their faces and everything. And I got cancer, and all my dogs died of cancer. So I tell all my students, if you're going to go down this road, don't be surprised if they try and kill you. Okay? Just
That's
let
the
them.
point I'm trying to make. This does come with risks because the system is so insidious.
Yeah, but I was doing it 14 years ago when I was the only onion on the onion beach. There was no one else here to do it with me. Okay? At 13 years old, I had an IQ of 168. And being a scumbag bikie, I wasn't using it until I got pissed off and thought, bugger it, I'm going to start studying this shit.
The solution is for everybody to do it.
Everyone. The more people start doing it.
Saying they're paying council rates or not. When there are cases in Australia where everybody or the majority of people have refused to pay their council rates,
Yeah.
the council has gone bankrupt and that has changed things.
Yeah.
But you need strength in numbers.
You've got numbers here. I'm really happy with how many people have turned out tonight. Congratulations to everyone here. Good on yous. There's a lot of intelligent people here today. Okay? You are able to walk away from your dinner, your home, your favourite TV show, come down here and listen to me. It means that you've got what it takes to take this further.
So how does this look for people who have home loans, who have arm licences? How does, when you come away from the system, how does that work for those people?
Well, I don't ask you to do what I've done, right? Until you get some knowledge. I handed my licence back 10 years ago. Car, bike, bus, truck, all my licences. As a power of attorney, you cannot have anything to do with a fraud. And your licence is a fraud. Okay? What else?
So if someone, like say for instance you got caught over by a problem
Yep.
for not having a licence,
Yep.
obviously you cover when you're registered.
Hey?
You car or vehicle wouldn't be registered either.
Yeah, it's registered. My Harley's registered.
Is it?
Yeah.
It would be registered, you don't have a name to register it.
It's in someone else's name, don't I?
So if you do the assembly proof of life document, you get your power of attorney, you have to are you able to be like a job seeker or be on the pension and claim benefits from?
Yeah. I'm on a pension.
You can still do all that stuff?
Yeah, I got taken out of the workforce 19 years ago when I had my left arm ripped out.
Yeah.
I haven't worked since.
So you still have that claim to those benefits?
Damn straight.
And they have to give it to you?
And you've used the correct word, benefits.
Yeah.
That benefit is coming from your bond.
Yeah.
And you are the beneficiary.
Of that bond.
Yeah. They would like you to be the trustee.
Can you increase that pay rate for them to say?
Hey?
Can you increase that pay rate?
That's what I'm doing this year.
You're increasing your pay rate?
Yeah. So,
Hello.
federal government has been notified by international courts that they're going to have to start putting the money back from the bonds that they've been dipping into. Okay? Now, they've been dipping into the bonds under the presumption held in Canon Law 3228. Write that one down, guys. Canon Law 3228. Took me 10 years to find that shit out because it's not in a law book. That's Vatican law, secret law. Yeah. So in that canon, there are 12 presumptions. Those presumptions are public oath, public office, public service, court of guardians, court of trustees, custody, summons, descent tort, which is French for not a party to. Number 9, government acting as beneficiary, executor, guilt, incompetence and ignorance. Hey?
Spending my money on things I don't want, like a vaccine.
Yeah.
They're
Well,
spending all our money
yeah.
without even asking us.
Yep. And the international courts have said start putting it back. Now, like my friend, one of my students rang me up and told me there's $250 million a month going in. That's a lot of fucking money. That's a lot of money.
I couldn't spend that in a month.
So this TASA that I told you about is Terra Australis States Assembly, been formed by Judge Anna von Reich, a judge in Alaska, and she has put the documentation together. They have to start putting back into our accounts every month 5,000 US Treasury notes per month. A US Treasury note is worth 180 US dollars. 5,000 times 180 is $900,000 a month are getting put back into your bond, into your bank account. Now that's American dollars, which equates to $1.364 million per month.
The numbers are just astounding.
Hey?
The numbers are just astounding.
$1.364 million per month? Wow, it is astounding. It's not as astounding as $250 million a month. Now that, I forgot to tell you, but when I sent my documents off to the ATO and said I'm not doing this no more, they tried to entrap me 5 years later by sending me a cheque. $55. $55 for 1 minute's interest on the gold. So you got some maths about you. $55 per minute times 60 minutes times 24 hours times 7 days a week times 52 weeks a year. That's how much you're going to get just from the interest of the gold.
Did they state that it was just a 1 minute interest?
Yes,
on the gold?
they didn't say the gold. They said 1 minute's interest. Now I was scratching my head, and it wasn't until I started digging deeper and learning more that I realised what they were talking about. Now the dividends of the country is where the real money is coming in. Genesis 1:26 in the Bible states that you've been given dominion over the air, the land, the water, the beast, the fowl and all that kind of stuff. You've got dominion. They've taken that away from you. Okay? So the dividends of the country. Now, uranium's not cheap. When they sell uranium to foreign countries, you're entitled to a dividend. When they sell gold, silver, iron ore, bauxite, magnesium, keep on going, you know what I'm saying? All the elements of the land you guys are entitled to, and especially the Kuris. Now, up in Northern Territory and Western Australia, they are copping royalties, but not as much as they should.
I was reading the royalties are applied to the state, whereas the debts that we have are applied to the federal level.
Yep.
So all of our debt goes to the federal, and of course they've split Australia into two businesses, the state and the federal.
Yep.
And that means that those royalties from all of our mineral wealth, every single mineral that's sold every day, all goes to the state and can never be applied to the debt of federal. So it's quite racket.
Sorry, just going back to the US Treasuries and the fact that they've got to start depositing back into our bonds.
Yep.
They're obviously doing something in the financial system because US bonds are starting to crash and they're going to come down.
Yep.
So is that a reason why they're trying to create that?
They're going to collapse the financial system.
Yeah, exactly.
That's their intent.
Yeah.
They need to go to digital currency. And when that happens, you are all well and truly fucked. Sorry. So it is what it is. Okay? When you have a digital wallet, you won't be able to buy things that they don't want you to buy. Okay? Simple. They'll know where you spend your money, how much you spend, when you spend, everything.
They're going to do digital ID first.
Yep.
Because they have to have that in place before they can do
Yep.
digital currency. And the issue for people is to resist, to not...
You are 100% right. The more people that resist, the more their plans will fail. And that's why I said I'm so glad to see so many people here from a small country town.
If people check their Service New South Wales app, if you still have it installed and haven't deleted it yet, I would suggest delete it. But the Service New South Wales app gave me a digital licence without my request. So I just opened the app and then my digital licence. To get that removed was quite interesting. I had to actually contact them, go through the details, get it removed. And then I stripped everything from that app, deleted the app.
Yep. Good lad. But that's what they're going to do. They're going to give it to you without you asking.
And it's not like
Your job is to say, stuff it, I don't want it, take it away.
But it's not like one day they're just going to do digital ID. They'll do it like that, little bit here and a little bit there so that we don't notice it.
Who remembers the referendum for the Australia card? Got thrown to the bin, didn't it? What happened 3 years later? Yeah, on your photo licence. See, back when I was a young fella, I had a licence number, 8503YZ. Now that the licence numbers are so long now because there's so many people, but then you had a card number. All of a sudden appeared on the right-hand corner. They got their ID card. They wanted it in, they got it in, and they snuck it in on your licence.
They always ask for those two numbers as well.
Yep.
I've still got my original paper licence, and I got my licence.
That's cool. That's cool. I haven't had one of those for a lot of years. And for you to have that now, I'd frame that. Show your grandchildren. Any questions?
Yeah,
No?
I'll ask you a question. You quoted the Bible a lot, and it's just a fun thing. It's not whether or not you know the Bible. Which comes first, the chicken or the egg?
I'd have to say the chicken,
Why?
because God created it.
That's right. My 10-year-old daughter received the Holy Spirit and spoke in tongues and didn't know anything other than what the Holy Spirit showed up.
Yep.
And I was listening to television one day with Michelle's partner, my son Craig, and he was about 3, and there was a song being sung on television, which comes first, the chicken or the egg? Sesame Street. And I just mouthed it to myself, thinking not to give an answer.
Yep.
And I said, which one must come first? My daughter came out of the bedroom, half dressed, with the Bible open, and said, it says here in Genesis, Mum, that God created the fowls of the air so the chicken came first.
Big finger. Good. Out of the mouth of babes. Eh? Yep. So, speaking of religion and stuff, who knows what religion means? You be quiet.
It's man-made churches, beliefs, whatever. Christianity is God.
Comes from Latin.
Polygamy.
Eh?
Polygamy.
The re is a concern. The RE is a concern.
It comes from the Latin word religare, to bind, to tie back, to hold back, to thwart from forward progression. So religion has been formed to keep you away from God. Who created all religions? Well, you're half right. The Jews created all religion. All religions. They created all religions, divide and conquer. How many wars have been fought over religions? And the Jewish fund both sides. Okay? They funded Hitler and they funded Her Majesty.
How do the illegal immigrants profit the government?
How do
all the illegal immigrants coming into the country, or these legal ones, profit the government? They don't have this trust like we do.
You're a smart man. That's the first bloke who's ever told me that. The illegal immigrants, the boat people, they're turned away because they don't have a birth certificate. They don't have a bond, a Sestre KV trust with lots of money in. So they are nothing but walking, talking liabilities. Go away. You get someone from a third world country coming in with a passport, they've got a bond.
But what about the illegal immigrants from the US going across the border?
You've got to ask yourself, well, why are they allowing it? Do you know why they're doing it?
Kalagi plan. Kalagi plan.
Kalagi plant? I don't know what that is.
In order to destroy bloodlines over time.
They are.
It also obviously destroys the entire economy because it brings in people from countries that will accept lesser pay rates, so that drops our economy.
Maybe not. But look at who's coming in. Everyone who's coming in are men of fighting age, no children, no wives, just a big bunch of men. Syria, everywhere. They're coming in for that. Why? Because they are going to cause a civil war. They will have men in the country and they are being given immediate citizenship and access to weapons straight away. They will cause mass murder. And you just mark my words. That's how they're going to bring America down from the inside. Okay?
The defence forces. They're recruiting them for the defence forces and the police force.
Yep.
With your knowledge and wisdom and understanding, has your crystal ball seen all this shit going down?
I'm a spiritual man, and I've known for quite a long time that we're in Revelations right now. And it's not my crystal ball, it's theirs. It's the Bible's crystal ball. So you've got in Revelations right now, it says when the Euphrates River dries up, the 4 fallen angels that have been incarcerated under the river will be let free to kill off 1/3 of the people. Euphrates River's dried up. And it's exposed a lot of stuff. There's jail cells in the side of the riverbank. They've got tunnels, just steps going down to God knows where. There's holes that have opened up in the middle of the river, and they've dropped microphones down there. You can hear clanging of chains, wailing, moaning, screaming, all sorts of shit going on down there. And this is all biblical, mate. This is hard to believe, but it's happening. The Nile is running blood red. You don't see that on the news, do you? Israel has been hit with locusts.
What's that amount that the amount of leaves? Is it the amount of leaves that's supposed to be going to split before Jesus Christ comes back?
I'm not too sure on that one, darling.
I'm not sure whether, but it's one of those places that
But shit's coming true. So
Shit's
something through for the Great Awakening?
Well, I think this is the awakening now. You guys are starting to wake up. There's going to be what's called a rapture. That's where, pardon me, I hope that I'm out of here. I've had enough. I have. I've had a gutful of this place. It's all satanic. The whole world is satanic, and I can prove it. Right? So, who knows the exact? And you be quiet. Who knows the exact axis of the world? The world's on a tilt.
23.4.
Good lad. What's the significance of 23.4?
9 minus 23.4 is 66.6.
You're all over it. Again, I'm impressed. I've had two answers that no one has ever been able to answer me before. You and you.
I listened to you video.
Oh, touche. Good on you. Hey, love?
The tilt, 23.4.
23.4 degrees.
What's the...
That's one part of the equation. The second part of the equation is 90 degrees. So when we want to build a house, we have to put profile pegs in, and we work off 90 degrees to square off the exactly square. So it's basically it's Pythagoras' theorem. In any right angled triangle, the square and the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the square of the other two sides. So 23.4 minus 90, 66.6, 666.
That's in a lot of memes. I get all this information from memes.
What are memes?
Memes.
I am computer dumb. Okay, you guys are so much better than me because I'm going to wind you up, point you in the right direction, let you go, and you're going to do this. And you're going to find out so much more than I can't use a computer.
On social media, that's how people are putting this true information across to actually get it onto the platform.
Right.
To actually have it received by people without having their written programming and all that. So they do a little, using a little picture diagram and then a catchy little phrase or something, and people are starting to accept it and wake up and go, hey, yeah, wow.
Yeah, right. Who else was going to say something there?
666, where did it come from?
666. Well, it's biblical, but I think 7 is God's number. I think.
And he was a mathematician that didn't believe in God. And he tried to disprove God. And in doing that, he found letters, numbers that coincided with each letter that the original Bible was written in.
Yep.
And that's where the 60s comes in. Apparently he tried to put something in the computer to do the same as what he discovered, and he couldn't do it. So that's where, if there's a sentence that's this short or this long, and it's to do with devil or evil, 660 would exactly with nothing left over, the same as the resurrection number.
Right.
It could be long or short.
So he tried to disprove it, and in doing so, proved it. Cool. Cool. Shit's going to start going down soon, guys. Okay? You're all under martial law, and it's so good that you're learning this shit because you're going to start learning how to emancipate yourself. Okay?
666 is from Revelation chapter 13.
Yep.
Where it talks about the beast system.
Yep.
Which is the total control system of the whole world.
Yep. And that's what's happening right now.
And that's what's in place right now.
Yep.
Done on the internet. Couldn't have been done 20 years ago. But it's in place right now. And the Apostle, when he was writing, he said, if you have wisdom, know that the number of the beast is the number of the name of man, 666, and he's
Yep.
saying this is like the culmination of man trying to rebuild the Tower of Babel.
Yep.
In other words, saying we're going to have domination over the whole world without God.
Yep. They're going to get a rude shock.
Yeah, and they're in for a rude shock. And the thing is, I just want to share with everybody here, Jesus said, I'm the light of the world. He who follows me will not walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. And Jesus, the Son, was exactly doing what you were doing. He was walking on the earth apart from the system,
Yep.
apart from the religion, apart from the law, and all that kind of thing, and they crucified him.
They're probably
That was the only way they could get rid of him, because he was bringing freedom and truth to human beings, dignity to lepers and all that kind of thing. That's what it was about. So those who are raptured are going to be the ones who have the light of life in their heart.
Yeah, yeah. And you guys learning this shit is really good.
Yeah.
Because there's people out there who are more concerned about getting drunk, getting laid, getting in fights, winning money, doing whatever. Okay?
Was it then when you're talking about in your affidavit where you included your children?
Yep.
So that has to be noted, their names in there individually, or
Nope.
just my children?
Yep.
Say my children and my grandchildren and my generations down under, become the whole lot.
Point 24 in my notarised claim of right. I claim the right to grant all the rights claimed here into trust for the benefit of any and all parties I deem fit, without affecting my own capability of exercising these rights lawfully and without limitation. In other words, I can claim everyone here as fit and proper people, and you're protected by these documents. Okay? Hey? No, you need to do one as well. Yes, love.
No, to say, but then if you deem us why do we need to do one? So I'm just all sort of thinking.
Because I'm not going to be here every time. And you guys need to do it for yourselves.
Yeah.
So when you come back,
Good question. Won't be long. I'll come back. This is a good turnout. But,
She's coming back to this earth.
hey? Yeah. Where are we going to now? Yeah, throw me. So, what else can I show you?
One thing I want to do that I can say that I've done all this paperwork and so far to this date, almost 5 months, my pension hasn't been cut off. So it was a big gamble. No one wants to lose a pension, and that's all we have. And that's all I have. But this fight is not just about freedom, it's about freedom for my daughter and her children. So it's a gamble that I'm prepared to take, and you can't ask anyone else to do it, you have to make a decision yourself. You have to make a decision.
So, yeah, I'm basically doing what I'm doing now, teaching you guys, is I don't know, I think it's just saying thank you to the big fella upstairs for allowing me to know all this information. If I was to keep it all to myself, what good is it, So, yeah, I've been targeted. I don't know how much longer I've got left. I'm still battling cancer, but I should have been dead 8 years ago. But he's kept me alive for some reason. What we're doing is protecting our property, our farms, because we've got children and grandchildren. And like the elites say, in the future you're going to own nothing but you'll be happy. Well, I dispute that. You take my farm off me, I'm not going to be happy. I'm not, and you're not going to be happy. Because if you find out, I think I might have a copy. I just happened to be watching Parliamentary Question Time in 1990 when federal member, what was his name, that big fat bloke? Beasley, thank you. Kim Beasley stood up and said, federal government has accepted a mandate of ownership of all farms, businesses and houses to government control once the Republic has been proclaimed. Hey? I'm so sorry, love.
All the original people now it's the white people's turn.
Oh yeah. They screw over the originals. They really have. And now they're going to screw us over.
Yeah.
Which is when he said he's accepted a mandate for the UN, that's in direct breach of this Constitution, Section 44.1. They've colluded and contrived and conspired against the people with a foreign entity. Off with their fucking heads.
Yes.
And I come from a long line of executioners for the royal family. My coat of arms is an executioner's coat of arms. I've written letters to federal government offering my services for the people. You wonder why they try to rub me out. Okay, this one here, this is just interesting. These are court rulings in relation to the police. Do you want me to read them to you? Yep.
I'm going to do this.
Yep.
And then will come my children and what have you. But what's been my husband doing?
What was that?
Except to emancipate him. Other than that, is there any reason why he would need to do the whole lot as well?
Well, if you're going to be the boss of the family and you're going to do this, it covers the whole family.
Including my husband?
Yeah. But you've got to bring him up to speed so he's not going to be a weight around your neck. A liability.
David, from me, that's impossible.
What did you say?
Cheeky. Okay, so police officers have no powers whatsoever to arrest or detain a citizen for the purposes of questioning him or for facilitating their investigations. It matters not at all whether the questioning or investigation is for the purpose of enabling them to ascertain whether he is the person guilty of a crime known to be committed, or it is for the purpose of enabling them to discover whether a crime has or has not been committed. If the police do so act in purported exercise of such a power, their conduct is not only destructive of civil liberties, but is unlawful. Northern Territory Supreme Court, Regina versus Banner, 1970. Okay? It is an ancient principle of common law that a person is not under arrest has no obligation to stop the police or answer their questions, and there is no statute that removes that right. The conferring of such a power on a police officer will be substantial detraction from the fundamental freedoms that we have been guaranteed to the citizen by the common law for centuries. And that's Justice Stephen Kay, Melbourne Supreme Court. The last one is, there is no common law power invested in police giving them the unfettered right to stop or detain a person and seek identification details, nor is Section 59 of the Road Safety Act a statutory source of such a power. So they get away with shit every day. Now, did I give you one of them? You did? You copy that out, hand them around the next meeting?
Yep, can do that.
So everyone gets a copy of everything? Cool. And now...
Drew, just on the back of Rhonda's question, do you want to explain a little bit about marriage licences and what that means
no
for
worries.
children and stuff?
Okay, when you get married, back in the olden days, it was between you, the missus and the priest, and God. Sometimes out in the bush, down by a river, wherever. Okay? These days, you get married, you have to, after the little ceremony, you've got to go and sign the contract. Who made the contract? Bingo. He who creates owns. It's a maxim of law. What do they own? Children. Children are classified as the fruits of the contract. Okay? So you're entrapped every which way. They get you every which way.
That makes me feel like shit. I mean, I'm a minister and I'm married my son to daughter-in-law.
Yeah. So if you're a minister,
Yes.
you should have done it outside the church, in a nice open air setting, And if you've got to sign a contract in future and there is capital letters in the contract, which there always is, all contracts have got capital letters in it because it's referring to you as persons. Okay? So if you've got to sign that contract, sign V.C. before your signature. That's Latin for vicacatus, meaning signed under protest and duress, nullifying the validity of the instrument to void ab initio, which is Latin for void from the beginning. So just remember that. Every contract, any paper you sign, turns that paper into an instrument. Okay? Without your signature, you can wipe your bum with it. It's just a piece of paper. As soon as you put your signature on it, it's a powerful document that can be traded on the Exchange Commission.
What was that she said to put down?
V.C. Or you could be a cheeky bugger like me and write underneath your signature, signed under protest and duress. Now, going back, I get lost. I mentioned something about tax and how much you pay tax each year. If you want all of that tax back, right, you've got to ring up the taxation department and say, listen, I don't use a computer. Would you be so kind as to send me a tax pack in the mail? My address is XYZ, blah, blah, blah. You get the tax pack in the mail, which is hard copy paper. None of this on the computer. That's shit. Fill it out exactly how they tell you to fill it out, even though it's all fraud. And I can explain that, but anyway, fill it out just as they tell you to fill it out. Then when you sign it at the bottom, you write underneath quite clearly, signed under protest and duress. You will get every cent of tax back. I've done it. I've proved it. Everything I'm doing, I'm telling you, I've already done. Okay? This is not hearsay. I'm speaking from experience. I walk the walk, I talk the talk.
So you got all the tax money?
Every cent. No. Just for that year. Because you've just woken up.
So is that why they have like a tax limit of like 7 years? So they can't, even if you've been dodging tax for 12 years or whatever, they can only go back 7.
No, 7 is the esoteric number. It is what it is.
Okay.
7 is a special number in law. When you're 7 years old, you're a young kid, child, whatever you want to call it. When you turn 14, 2 times 7 is 14, you are adolescent, pubescent. When you turn 21, that's a special number, isn't it?
Yeah.
3 times 7, 21. Who's watched Harry Potter? Okay. Very first Harry Potter, Hagrid takes him to the bank. Okay? Got to get some money to buy your owl, your wand, your gown, your broomstick, all that kind of shit. The bank's run by goblins. They're telling you. You go underground on this little railway and you come to a big vault in the wall, you open it up, there's a big fucking pile of gold in there. They're trying to tell you. You've got a big pile of gold, people. You do. And they're claiming under canon law 3,228.9 or 12 presumptions. Presumption that remains unrebutted stands as fact in a court of law. Learn to rebut the presumptions. To rebut the presumptions, you've got to know the presumptions. The presumption that you're a person. You're not a person. What does person mean? I told you before. Has anyone remembered? Comes from the Latin persona, meaning a false identity. You want to put your hand up to be a false identity? They'll treat you as one.
The word mask is often in there too when you look up.
Yep.
The meaning of persona.
Yep. So it's time for you guys to wake up and you're here and you're doing it.
Last week I endeavoured to renew my working with children check.
I'm so sorry, I'm deaf as a post. You've got to speak up.
Last week I went up to Services New South Wales to renew my working with children check. And I thought it would be fairly straightforward. And the girl said to me, oh, you done it on your computer? I said, no. And then she said, oh, well, you've got to do all this on the computer. And you'll need identity. And if you change your name, you've got to have your marriage certificate as well as your birth certificate. So that was Monday. I went back Wednesday, took my birth certificate and my original marriage certificate, and we're going through the thing. And then when she saw my wedding certificate, my marriage certificate, oh, she said, that's no good. You've got to get one with all the details on. Now, what has happened, I'm just wondering, did they sell off our first deaths and marriages to some other entity, or what's the go? Because I'm going to ring them up and have a piece of them, because as far as I'm concerned, my original marriage certificate should be all they them or me. So how do I give them a big
I'd be just asking, what's the problem? Please explain to me. I'm using, and a birth certificate can't be used as a form of identification. It says it on the birth certificate. So have you got a driver's license? Yeah. Yeah. You got a bank card? Got a rates notice? You take it all in, say, what's your fucking problem? What is your problem? Not in Centrelink, they'll just say leave. But no, I'm pretty raw, especially when I know someone's trying to screw me over.
Well, I'm going to ring up the head office. And
No, I'd just be saying, get the regional manager out here now. Okay? I'm here to renew my Working with Children certificate.
Already proved all that application. Every time they want you for something else, that free, you got to not allow the free.
And while you're doing that, you might as well give them your proof of life.
Bingo. Yeah, you've got to go to Centrelink to get proof of life document. It's their own document on their computer. No, you need proof of life. But just remember this. This is most important. Prove that you're alive. Otherwise, the presumption that you're dead will stand. Use their documents. I want you all to go to Centrelink. Can you imagine if you all went to Centrelink in 1 week, one after another, you're going, proof of life, proof of life. What the hell's going on? Can you imagine if you all lined up and you all said proof of life document? Thank you. Proof of life document, they'll be going. Print.
You said up to 7 years of age?
Yep.
The parents have got to...
Change the presumption.
So how do they do that?
Notify birth, deaths and marriages.
Okay.
I do not consent to the federal government or state government using my child's, my daughter's name, not child, because child is CH is pronounced K, and it's not child, it's killed. Okay?
After 7?
After 7 years, if you haven't done it, they presume that your child is...
So you're talking about going for us to go and Centrelink and ask for a proof of life.
Yep.
But that doesn't, when does that come into play? I mean, not from 7 years of age upwards, does it?
No, yeah, you can do it any time.
I'm just saying, would you actually ask for a proof of life form and fill it out for that daughter or son?
Ah, right, I see where you're coming from. Yeah, you can do that. You get them to fill it out. Yeah, right here, son. Like this. Here's my one, you copy it, put your name in.
Then there won't be a death certificate file.
Yeah. What was love?
Can I sing you a song?
Can you sing me a song? Knock yourself out, girl.
I'm serious.
Okay.
I'll sing a song. I feel very impressed with singing because of the things that you said. Lots of things that you said that I've already know and stuff that I don't know. And I thank you.
You're right,
Thank
love.
Robin for inviting me tonight, otherwise I wouldn't have come. Okay, it's a Christian song. but it was made up by someone that was in the know at the time. Okay. Well, maybe you've made it to 70. How old are you?
61.
You're a teen, or you're now middle-aged. Well, it don't matter what your proclivity. If you don't know what that means, it just means where you're at in life. Because the Lord says to be born again. Well, you're a tough guy, a weak guy, a lady, a rich man, a poor man, a Jew. Get humble before the calamity which is coming.
Oh, it's here.
Because the same thing applies here to you. It's repentance of water and fire. The water washes your old sins away, and the tongues of the Spirit require that a new creature sees a new day. And this is what the English people did when they sent the people out on the boats. See you later. Maybe we'll see you later. Singing Turalai, Uralai, Adadi. Singing Turalai, Uralai, singing Turalai, Uralai, Adadi. Well, the King upon Zion will reign. Well, maybe it's a little bit hard now to hear this. But can't you hear there's a voice calling you? And a hand reaching out from up heaven. Knock the door, it will open to you. About love, I'll tell you a true story of God who gave up his own son to be killed pure and perfect and holy, to be lost there that you might be won. Singing Turalai, Uralai, Adadi. Sing with me. Singing Turalai, Uralai, singing Turalai, Uralai, Adadi. Well, the King upon Zion will reign.
Good on you, Jenny. Good on you, girl. But yeah, look, it's a special time. It really is. I mean, I've known for 50 years, since I was a young guy studying the Bible, that we're in Revelations right now. But the Euphrates River drying up and the blood-red Nile and the locust plagues hitting Israel, and the war with the Gazans, the Palestinians. Now, I only learned this out the other day. It talks about the four horsemen in Revelations being white, black, green and red. And I always wondered the significance of the colours until I worked out that all around Israel, every flag of the Arab nation is black, white, green and red. And the Jews are provoking the Arab nation by killing their Arab brothers, the Palestinians, in such a horrible way that they are trying to provoke the Arab nations to attack them and kill them off, because it's not until that happens that their prophecies will come true. It's all going down. It's all happening. It's going to happen in your lifetime. So it's one thing to learn the law, learn your authority that you possess, who you truly are. You're not persons, you're men and women. And that is a very authoritative position to hold. The more you learn, I mean, you will learn more than me, I can guarantee you, because I don't use computers. My little cottage is just shelves of books. I'm old school. Like I said before, I've owned this thing for 18 months. I still don't know how to drive it.
Also, they've learned a better way of going, because your whole reason for them introducing this system of internet is it can be edited like that, whereas before they had to learn the books, they had to find the books and learn them.
Yeah, so this, as much as a curse as it is a blessing, for the information you can learn when pointed in the right direction is never before ever happened on the face of the planet. 500 years ago, who was in charge? Catholic Church. And they were not going to tell you their secrets. now you can find it out. You can all type in Canon Law 3228. You'll be able to read the 12 presumptions. I was going to give you another piece of paper.
I've been privileged to actually teach through a few things.
Yeah, mate. Hey guys, I don't know everything. A lot of areas I'm as dumb as dog shit, pardon the expression, I really am. I'm smart in areas, I'm dumb in other areas. And I can get taught lessons by each and every one of you. Everyone here has got something to offer. Everyone. Whether it's a lovely song or information that I don't know. Now here's a copy of the 22-point mandate handed down by the United Nations to Kim Beazley. You guys, I give you a copy of this, did I?
Yes.
Yep. You'll print it up, will you? Hand them around. You're going to be shocked. Is there a toilet around here?
Yep, that way.
How about you come and read this? Let everyone know what these 22-point mandates are. Okay?
Okay. 22 steps for the UN mandates, and they're broken down into categories. The first one's banking and money. So step 1 is national governments will relinquish control of their money, float their currency, and remove all controls over the flow of money into and out of the country. So that's one of the things that the UN want to do. Step 2, national governments will continue the practice of borrowing from the international bankers to finance their affairs. Step 3, national governments will depend on the international investment for all future development. Step 4, national governments will ensure international, not national, ownership of their banks and financial institutions by transnational corporations and global investors. Step 5, national governments will wind back spending on welfare and social programs, including education and health. Okay, the next steps come under industries. Step 6, national governments will ensure international, not national, ownership of the industries and businesses by transnational corporations, which is TNC in brackets, the global investors. Step 7, national governments will remove all impediments to the activities of the transnational corporations and global investors in exploiting their resources, including human. Step 8, national governments will abolish all measures, including exemptions under trade practices legislation, which protect or assist small, medium-sized, nationally owned businesses. Step 9, national governments will abolish all forms of protection, such as tariffs, import restrictions, subsidies, for all local industries. The next step, which comes under Labour heading, national governments will disempower unions, abolish wage fixation, and allow their labour forces to compete in unregulated global labour market. Next one is for public utilities. National governments will sell all publicly owned government-run enterprises and public utilities to those transnational corporations and global investors. So that's taking all our utilities from councils. Schools, yeah. Farming. Step 12, national governments will ensure international, not national, ownership of farms by transnational agribusinesses, corporations, and global investors. Step 13, national governments will adopt policies for producing, for export, importing, or local consumption. Step 14, national governments will abolish all forms of protection, such as tariffs, import restrictions, subsidies, for locally owned farms. Step 15, national governments will enter into agreements with international bodies which hand over ownership and control of their country's natural resources. Step 16, national governments will sign multilateral treaties at the United Nations which will surrender their political and legal sovereignty. Step 17, national governments will adopt policies of regionalism and multiculturalism and other policies which will eventually eliminate national borders, culture and identity and create global citizens. Step 18, national governments will agree to implement globally determined environmental, social and cultural programs in their country. Political. Step 19, national governments will wind back their national armed forces to levels sufficient only to subdue their own people and participate in global peacekeeping activities as required by the UN. Step 20, nearly finished. National governments will disarm their own citizens so there can be no armed resistance to globalisation. Step 21, national governments will maintain a working relationship with their local media who will divert attention from these developments until they are too far progressed to be reversed. Step 22, national governments will agree to ultimately surrender their own sovereignty and take direction from a one world government.
There you go. Is that for our June 23rd?
It is what it is, the New World Order. Okay, what she just read out was treason. Okay? So we need to do something about it, even though it's 34 years too late.
Well, now that they're all really depressed, look at that. I'm going to be at Centrelink at 10:30 on Wednesday morning. If anybody else would like to join me in the queue to request their proof of life document and have a bit of fun, I will get in the queue to get. I'll be standing outside Centrelink in Wauchope at 10:30 if anybody wants to come along.
That'd be really cool. That'd be really cool if you guys can do what this guy does and film that shit and put that on the internet or whatever it is. 30, how many people there? 40 people all lined up. Wait, they're going to become proof of life. I'm alive.
You can actually download it, but you've got to actually search for it correctly, so exactly spelled correctly, otherwise you can't find it.
Download it for what reason?
So you don't have to go to Centrelink and make them squirm.
I'd rather do something where I feel like I get some sort of power and control.
It'd be very funny to see you all lined up. Seriously, you're not there. No, it's all right. No, I'm good to wait. I'll wait.
We'll take up all those seats.
And then. And you all ask for the same thing. They'll be going. They won't know what's hit them. But there'll be a movement, and you guys are a movement. And I've never said in any of the classes to do this. So good on you. It'll be a hoot. I wish I was here. Seriously, to see you all line up and do that in Centrelink, it'd be really good. Now,
If it's raining, you won't get to go away.
well, you're right. I'm not going anywhere until it stops raining.
What was worried?
Is that tomorrow?
Yes.
No, Wednesday.
Wednesday.
10:30 Wednesday.
You're still here. I'll put it in the email.
She's doing it tonight.
Yeah, I know that, yeah.
But look, I've already done it. I've already been there, done that. It's dead set. You can do it. And my name's been taken off the electoral roll. Okay? And just imagine you don't have to go and vote for these dickheads anymore. Okay? That in itself's a blessing. It really is. Because I get to stay at home while my wife has to tootle off and go and register herself.
So how come she hasn't done it?
I've been married 40 years. God bless her, I love her dearly, but she's an alcoholic and she thinks I'm full of shit. Okay, there you go. Shut the fuck up.
Mine's not an alcoholic, but she thinks I'm full of shit.
There you go. Join the club.
That's right. I might talk to farm. I've been married for 46 years. Two men died in May last year, and there's my daughter-in-law, who's a perfect gentleman every way.
Yep.
From day one until the day he died, in and out of bed, he was an absolute gentleman.
Yeah.
Never swore. I think I heard him speak twice.
I swear like a trooper, love. And I do it also in court. So I am their worst nightmare because they can't control me. And I'm a common man, I speak the common language, and fuck you.
You're probably soft.
I am a big softie, but don't tell anyone. I really am. When it comes to kids, I'm a big softie. But I'm really hard in other areas. Any other questions?
What's that t-shirt about?
I grow a shitload of pot. I've smoked pot for 45 years. I've given up because in the last 2 years I get headaches whenever I cough, so bad that I'm afraid to cough. Since I've given up, I don't cough anymore. I've given up smoking when they told me I got cancer. I gave up alcohol 30 years ago because when I'm drunk, I'm like a grenade with a pin half out, and if someone was to hit a lady, I'd probably kill him. If I see someone hitting children or molesting children, they're dead. They go for a long walk down a short road in a state forest in a wheelie bin. So I'm unpredictable, so I stopped drinking. I'm now more...
So why don't you use cannabis oil instead of the...
I do. I've just helped his wife out from MS, and she's now sleeping better. So she can have that cannabis oil. I'll buy myself some more.
You mentioned you had cancer, I presume, staying away from radiation and all that, right?
They told me if I don't do something about it, I'm dead in 2 years. I refused chemo. I refused them to cut my bladder out, my prostate out, and all my glands out. I had radiation therapy 2 months ago. I'm still paying for it. That's why when I go to the toilet, it hurts. Okay, it's all raw down there. But I've got to do something.
Have you heard about death?
Yes. Yep. Yep. I treated myself. The first time the cancer arrived was 10 years ago. I refused everything. I just treated myself with sheep and cattle drench, and it all went away. I fell back into old habits, and the old habit was sugar. Sitting down, bar of chocolate, Friday night, watching me footy, and a little glass bottle of Coke. I was in heaven. Biscuits, lollies, things like that. Sugar feeds cancer. So take it from me, if you don't want cancer, give up all the sugar. Okay? Because it ain't fun. It ain't fun at all. But I've watched what chemo's done to my dad, my brother, all my mates. I've lost 7 of my mates in the last 6 years. They're all dead. I've got a new mate now. Try and keep alive, will you, mate? So, yeah.
Are you looking at chlorine dioxide? Chlorine dioxide?
Yes, mate. I've been taking it, but after the bladder radiation, big fucking mistake. When I had it, I was like, pardon the expression, I was pissing acid. It really, really, really hurt. Like, just had to hang on to something because there was tears coming out my eyes going, I'm never doing that again. So my bladder's pretty raw down there, and that chlorine dioxide is hydrochloric acid with something else.
Sodium chloride.
Thank you, good girl. My memory when it comes to those things is stuffed. I've got enough. After my stroke, I'm doing pretty good. I had a stroke, so my memory's a bit out there. I used to be able to recite not only all the laws off by heart, but the page numbers and the addition numbers. It's affected my memory in ways that I still remember the words of the songs I grew up with in the 60s and the 70s, word for word, but I can't remember the band name or the artist for the life of me. And even though it's embarrassing to say, typing letters to the Governor-General, I get words that a young child could say, that's how you spell it, and I'm going, how do you spell that shit? And it's really frustrating because my memory's fried.
Can I just want to thank Anton for getting you along tonight. I just want to ask you a question too. Is there a hunger for this information out there?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So you're finding groups like this everywhere?
I've taught all over the place, mate, and it's really starting to increase. I can remember about 14 years ago I did a 3-day seminar in Byron Bay, and I was impressed with their turnout, but really disappointed with their motives and incentives and their reason, their intent. They're all there to sue people. They wanted to sue the council for putting the cat down. They wanted to sue the neighbour for throwing a bar of metal over the fence when they were partying and hitting his son in the head. They wanted to sue this and that. And I'm thinking, you guys have just got it all wrong. This is spiritual. This is spiritual warfare, okay? It's not about suing people. If you guys get your hands on your bonds, you won't need to sue anyone. You know, and it will really change the economy of all the small towns, everywhere. Because let's just face it, if you guys got hold of $1.364 million a month, what are you going to do? You're going to you might get an extra couple of rooms put on for the grandchildren when they stay. That's going to employ builders, tilers, plumbers, electricians. I won't dress in Armani suits. I'm a dag. Look at my jeans, I'm dirty. You know, I don't get dressed up. I'm not going to turn into someone I'm not.
We fix our roads, our country roads, and that sort of thing.
Yeah, well, that's a good call because country roads are basically funded by the federal government, and it's the responsibilities of the council. Now, if you guys were all getting $1.364 million a month, you could all come together and say, fuck, let's set the council, right? Let's all put $20,000 a month. That's out of $1.364 million. That's not much, is it? Let's all put 20 grand in and pay the guys double what they're getting now to look after the parks and gardens and collect the rubbish. Let's pay them well. Rates, most of it goes to the Vatican. A smaller portion goes to Spain. That's it.
We have gold is over in England, we have no gold in Australia.
Port Macquarie Hastings Council had a look at their financial statements. They made $69 million last year. The company made $69 million.
They can still be rich.
Yeah, that's all right.
69 million is not much. Armidale Council lost over $30 million on the GFC. And what they did, they lost $30 million of ratepayers' money, and it's done illegally. They have no right whatsoever to involve themselves in any kind of it is a form of gambling. Our money was gambled on the stock market, and they lost it. Yeah. Now, who knows anything about Freemasonry? That's who you're up against. Freemasons run the councils, the mayors, government, police. You can't rise above the rank of sergeant unless you become a member of the lodge.
The logo on the ambulance is the Knights Templar logo.
The Freemasons, they worship Lucifer. Yep. That was fun.
Thank you so much, Drew. I think
That's
everybody
all right.
needs to be more.
My pleasure.
We'd love to have you back too. Maybe if you can tell us your experience with how you go with your bond.
The people who helped me out with my documents, I basically did a shitload of work with Rodney in this. See, these people I taught 14 years ago, law, they went off down a different rabbit hole, and they went into trust law and all that kind of stuff, which Anton's starting to study now. They helped me out with my documents. The money is already going into their accounts right now. Okay, so it's not hearsay. This is serious shit. Hey?
Is it Romney?
No. I know Romley and Rowan. I was up talking to Rowan probably six or 8 weeks ago. Rowan, they're very knowledgeable, but they haven't done what I've done. Documentation. It's all very well knowing all of this, but you've got to do the documentation. So first thing you've got to do is proof of life, please. It's paramount. It's the most important thing you can do. Prove that you're alive. And that's something you can do in your town without having to go too far away. And have some fun doing it with you guys all getting together at Centrelink. I wish I was there.
I promise I won't bring any of my guns.
Okay, so yeah, I hope everybody